Ew.
Sorry.
How do you gut someone?
Always trust my gut.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece. Are you ready?
Hi.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror films.
Yes. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we have a Guess the Ending episode. New title.
Wait, so this is a gut reaction episode?
No,
but we
it is
changed
no
the title.
longer called Gut Reaction because that was confusing.
Well, yeah. On YouTube, there are a series of reaction videos,
And
which
that's
is
not
two
what we
people
do.
watching a movie and talking about it while they're watching the movie. So we thought we should change the title because that's not exactly what we're doing. We're trying to guess the ending here.
Yeah, we're guessing the ending.
So we have to be a little more literal. We were trying to be punny.
I know. I liked the pun. Gut reaction. I have all sorts of gut analogies and metaphors.
But you can't battle the YouTube algorithm.
I
So
know.
we relented. So these episodes are now going to be called Guess the Ending.
Yeah, quite literally, we are guessing the ending of
Yeah.
a movie that we've never seen before.
And what's the movie that we're guessing today?
Dr. Giggles.
The doctor is out
Hello, Mr. Pancreas.
of his mind.
It only hurts when I laugh.
What's happening?
Jennifer?
You are dead.
Don't worry, it's just a routine operation.
Dr. Giggles.
The doctor will see you now.
I can barely say it. I'm so giddy about this movie.
Wow. Okay. The anticipation has been building since 1992 for Dr. Giggles.
It has. I'm actually kind of nervous. This is an episode in 4 acts. First, we will recap the first half that we have watched so far. And then we will make our predictions of what we think will happen in the second half, thus guessing the ending. After we watch the ending, then we'll come back with our prediction results and then a mini award ceremony.
It's just a fun way to talk about the movie. We're talking about the movie all the way through. If you haven't seen Dr. Giggles and want to play along, it's currently streaming on Shout TV and Tubi. Watch about 46 minutes, press pause, and come up with some of your own predictions for the ending.
You too can guess the ending.
All right. So Dr. Giggles, we have watched the first half of Dr. Giggles, and I just wanted to start the episode off with a question for you. So Dr. Giggles, especially for people who have grown up in the 90s, it's one of those movies that you probably know the title of, even if you've never seen the movie. So why do you think that is?
Because it was in Blockbuster. I think it's because the poster has this maniacal doctor guy. I always thought he was a dentist. I thought this was
I did too. I totally
Right?
thought he was a dentist.
And we were watching this movie, half of it, and we're like, I thought he was supposed to be a dentist. It sounds so much scarier to be a dentist.
A lot of people are afraid of going to the dentist, and also the dentist will sometimes put that laughing gas on
Yes. So you'll be laughing even though you're in pure pain.
you. So you're giggling.
That sounds terrible. So yeah, I thought like he was going to be high on his own laughing gas, his own nitrous oxide or whatever, and making people, I don't know, also giggle.
So lo and behold, Dr. Giggles is actually
He's
a
just
doctor.
a doctor. He's
Is
just
he a real
regular-
doctor? We don't know. He's definitely not a dentist.
This has been on my list, I think, since I was like in 3rd grade.
So since 1992.
Basically,
Or you were in 3rd grade in what, 93?
yeah.
So it probably came out theatrical release 92. You saw it
And then
at the Blockbuster.
I think it did take quite a while for movies to get to Blockbuster after the movie release.
Yeah.
So I think I remember being in 3rd grade trying to watch this. And my mom, rightfully so, was like, nope, you're not bringing that home. Go watch Drop Dead Fred for an 18th time. And I did.
I did too. That was a good one.
Weird. Which arguably is also really scary. Anyway, I've had it on my list and then it went on the back burner and I just never saw it. And then I feel like it was
out of print.
You couldn't get it. Yeah. You couldn't see it. And I was like, well, there goes that dream. So
yeah, maybe you could find it on VHS, but it wasn't on streaming anywhere. And we'd searched for it in several different used DVD places, like our favorite place, McKay's
bookstore. I looked every time that I went and I never found it. Makes sense. So
I'd search around on Amazon. I think I did see out of print copies on eBay, but I didn't want to pay like $40 for Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, I know. Because we have never seen it. So like it could be a bomb, be a total stinker.
But thank you, Shout Factory, for releasing an awesome Blu-ray of Dr. Giggles.
That was my birthday present last year from Tony. I didn't know that it was finally in print.
Yeah.
So when I opened it, I was like, what?
I just check from time to time,
Yeah. Well, it paid off and it made for a very exciting birthday.
Okay. And so you had a lot of anticipation to watch this movie. We've seen the first half. What did you think? What's going on?
I'm pretty excited. I feel like it's going well.
It's going real well.
I feel like we're on a first date with Dr. Giggles and it's really going well.
It's everything that you would hope for in a bad 90s slasher.
Yeah, he came to dinner dressed nice with a bottle of something green.
Like Wait, what? I didn't
dinner, like first date analogies.
Oh, you're still on that. Okay, I was off that.
Anyway, whatever. We open with Dr. Giggles.
Oh, actually, it opens with a really bad CGI.
Red blood cells coursing through the bloodstream and they get to, I don't know, some atrial artery or heart valve opens up and sucks in these platelets. And then you see a scalpel stab into the heart, CGI style.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is nice. Reboot blood platelets.
For those who don't know what Reboot is, it's a bad CGI 90s cartoon.
If you like Dr. Giggles, you'll like Reboot. But I remember at the time hating Reboot graphics, but now I kind of like it.
Or like Lawnmower Man. A lot of early 90s CGI is just,
now it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's bad, but nostalgic bad. Yeah. The heart gets stabbed during heart surgery and then the patient flatlines and you're like, Dr. Giggles is a terrible doctor.
I think he giggles a little bit too.
He does. And he's like, yeah. And he's in like one of those surgery arenas, surgery theaters where it's like you have all the students above you looking at the surgery happen.
Yeah.
And this doctor down there is supposed to be like imparting his wisdom on surgery. I'm like, this guy sucks. And then we find out, oh, he's an insane patient at this sanitarium and he's escaped his room.
Yeah. And it's the early 90s. So, they're not very sensitive about anything. It's just like very generic people who are crazy, quote unquote.
Very generic, crazy people licking the glass.
Maniacal laughter and wide-eyed and They
all have binoculars for some reason.
Yeah.
I really liked the preparation that Dr. Giggles had for this surgery. He actually took the time to hand out binoculars to all the patients there.
Yeah.
So they could see up close what he was doing.
Very elaborate escape plan. I'm going to perform open heart surgery on this guy.
As a distraction.
And then release all the patients.
Yeah.
And then make my way out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he did. He
disguised as a doctor who he kills.
He actually does kill
whoever has the arms. It's like, and then he kills a receptionist.
Right. Oh, the guy that he was performing surgery on was the doctor. He took his arms.
He flipped. Yeah. Maybe he was supposed to the one that have surgery.
Maybe he was supposed to have surgery.
Or someone else was supposed to perform surgery. Doctor.
I think he just hoodwinked some doctor and took his arms and used them to grope the receptionist to trick her like Jurassic Park style, which was a year before Jurassic Park came out. So who stole whose idea? Steven Spielberg. Anyway, he gets out and we know that he heads to a town called Moore High because they show an up close of a map.
On the map. Yeah.
Moore High.
Good. Yes. I'd like to know exactly what town I'm in.
Yeah. It's not just the high school. It's also the town. Cut to the high school that is on summer break.
Totally 90s style. There's a guy running out of the building with no backpack.
Half these kids don't have backpacks. What kind of school is this?
So we meet sort of all the main characters.
Yeah, we have our main characters, Jen and Max. Jen played by Holly Marie Combs, who I know from Charmed. This is early Holly Marie
I
Combs.
recognized her, but I didn't really know what
Yeah,
she
she
was
looks very
from.
young. And Max, is he a Baldwin?
Is he Billy Baldwin? I didn't look it up, but yeah, he looks like he could be Billy Baldwin.
Yeah, when we do these, we don't look up any of the actors because we're afraid of things being spoiled. We don't look up anything beyond the director and the year it was made. We also have Stu and Diane.
They're like the troublemakers or something like that. Stu, he kind of has like a Pauly Shore vibe.
He does.
Little round glasses, backwards hat.
Kind of like Pauly Shore meets Brad Dourif. I actually thought, is that like a young...
Well, his facial features look like Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Or like the blonde one from Bill and Ted. Marco from
Alex
The Lost
Winter.
Boys. That guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lost Boys. That's right. I'm wearing a
Marco.
Lost Boys t-shirt today.
We also have Trotter. Okay, so we really had to listen and rewatch the first half to hear any names.
Well,
that
we've
were
turned
uttered.
on the subtitles and it just told you who the characters' names were.
Yeah.
Because in, typical 90s fashion, we learn all the names of the male characters, but we don't learn any of the names of the female characters.
There's still a
except
female-
for the main.
Yeah, there's still a female that I don't know her name, but several of the ladies, they did not bother to say any of their names.
Yeah. So we were just calling them Hottie 1 and Hottie 2.
Hottie 1, Hottie 2, Stu and Diane, they're the butthead couple. We'll find out why they got that title later. We also have Trotter and Lee. They are our only African-American friends.
Yeah. And in typical 90s style, they seem very token friends.
They're token friends, and they don't say their name. They say Trotter briefly, but they never say Lee's name. So just so you know, from the subtitles, they call her Lee.
Yeah. Trotter played by Dougie Doug, who I love Dougie Doug. He's such a fun time.
Dougie Doug is a fun time.
Yeah.
And then there are our two hot ladies. Corrine is one of them, and the other one is nameless. She does not get to be named. She's hottie number 2. She's the blonde one who says very, very
Tag
little.
along, yeah.
Tag along.
It's the last day of school and they are planning their last day of school, first day of summer.
First day of break.
Party.
Yeah, we're going to
And
go
there's
to...
a carnival going on.
There's a carnival. We're all going to go to Breeders' Hill, which is like a sick term for their makeout point. All right.
Makes sense. That's
Know
where you
what's
go
happening
to
there.
breed.
That's where you go to procreate and make more townsfolk.
Exactly. And poor Jen, she has a doctor's appointment today.
She's like, I can't
Last
go.
day of school.
Yeah, poor planning.
She has some heart problems.
Yeah, she's at the doctor's office. The doctor's like, you have a prolapsed atrial valve or something. We have to do a routine heart surgery. It's no big deal.
They give her like a pacemaker or something.
They give her like a little heart monitor.
Oh, that's what that is.
Looks like a Walkman attached to her hip. And when she leaves the doctor's office, the nosy neighbor stops her with her dog, Erica.
Oh, yeah, that was a good moment.
She's like, what is that? That's a cool Walkman. She's like, actually, it's not a Walkman. She's like, oh, what is it? And she's getting really up close.
Kind of just glossed over it because that was a really funny moment because off screen, she's like, stop that, Erica. And it's like her poodle. And it's like, what? We were like chuckling.
I love that this dog's name is Erica. It's such just like a young daughter's name.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But that makes sense. This dog probably is like her daughter.
Yes.
And so Erica is the name that she would have chosen for her daughter. And Erica is a troublemaker, always nosing about where she shouldn't be.
On her walk home, she passes by the creepy old house on the block, which happens to be Dr. Giggles' childhood home.
Yes. The
And
family
it's totally
home.
derelict.
Yeah, it's really mossy and full of wood rot.
Yeah, but still really nice.
Doesn't
Probably
look bad.
selling the market for a good number.
Yeah. Jen goes home
Yeah, she goes home and has a heart-to-heart with her dad.
about her heart problems.
Yeah, and about her dislike of the new stepmom. She's like a hottie mom. She's probably 10 years younger than dad.
Yeah, I kind of like her though, because when Jen gets home, she's like, hey, hon, how was school today? And Jen totally ignores her. I'm like, that was rude. At least say hi back. Tamara actually said
She made the effort.
she made the effort and gave her a pet name, called her Honey.
What about dad? Dad is a total putz.
Dad's a putz, tinkering around with some computer stuff in the bedroom. And Jen's like, oh, it's not my heart problems that are bothering me. It's my stepmom. And I'm like, oh, you're not even giving her a chance.
Of course, we find out her mother died of some sort of
routine heart surgery.
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
like that we have a connection between Dr. Giggles and Jen's mom.
Yeah, what could be brewing here in the plot? And then we do get a POV of Dr. Giggles in his childhood family home. He's there and he's having a flashback of when he was young and an aspiring doctor, just dissecting his plushies,
Yeah.
pulling out their stuffing with tweezers.
Horrible kid actor.
Horrible kid actor, but the sutures on those plushies looked pretty good.
Yes. Very good at sewing.
Yeah, so if anything, he could have been more of like a tailor.
Yes.
I feel like
should
he
have
missed his
grown up to
calling.
become a tailor.
Yeah. And then after his flashback kind of dispels, we see the butthead couple, Stu and Diane, approaching the Giggles home.
They're planning a prank at the old Rendell house for no apparent reason at all.
It's the first day of summer break. You know, what do you do the first day of break? You pull some hijinks.
And Dr. Giggles is there.
Dr. Giggles is there, and Stu and Diane come with their other friends, Trotter and Lee. And I think the assumption initially is that they're all going to go there and like make out or just have like scary hijinks. And Stu has a cool little nursery rhyme about Dr. Giggles.
Dr. Rendell, the doctor from hell.
That's it. Dr. Rendell, the doctor from hell.
Pulled out people's hearts just for fun. That didn't rhyme, but it was something along those lines.
Yeah, it was a little snazzier than that. Basically, the whole town knows and has created this nursery rhyme about Dr. Rendell. So they're in the house, and Lee, of course, is like the only sound person. And she's just like, no, why are we here? This is stupid. Trotter, let's get out of here.
She is the voice of reason.
She's the voice of reason. Trotter's like, no, let's hang out a little bit. Let's find out what we can find out. Stu and Diane are prancing up the stairs. Trotter and Lee follow. Trotter and Lee end up in a closet for some reason.
I think that's just a spare bedroom.
Oh, they end up in a spare bedroom, and Stu and Diane lock them in. Like they really wedge them in with like a pickaxe or something.
Yeah, he's holding a pickaxe and he jams it into the door so they can't get out.
They can't get out. Like they can't even like kick the door down.
It's a pretty shitty prank to play on your friends.
And that's why they are the butthead couple. I think
and also like kind of thinking to myself like, yeah, early 90s, let's kill off the black characters first.
I know. You're like,
It has
oh,
that feel to
man.
it and you're just like, oh.
You said his name's Dougie Doug?
Dougie Doug, yeah.
Dougie Doug. What was his claim to fame?
He's in Cool Runnings. He's in a bunch of stuff. He was in Class Act. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
No, I saw Cool Runnings.
Class Act is a great one with Kid and Play.
Was that before or after Dr. Giggles?
Around the same time.
Same time?
Somewhere in the early 90s.
So Dougie Doug gets to be our Drew Barrymore, basically.
Does he?
No.
I don't think he was like, it was that kind of billing.
No.
It wasn't like Dr. Giggles starring Dougie Doug. I think he was just a character actor. I mean, in Cool Runnings, which he had the main role, but in Class Act, he was just like a side character.
Okay, was this before or after Cool Runnings?
This was before Cool Runnings and after Class Act. I actually looked it up.
Okay, so he was increasing in fame. He's one of our first main characters that dies.
Yeah.
He is trapped in this room, and of course, he looks through the keyhole, and you're like, oh no, don't look through the keyhole. And he does not get skewered in the eyeball. So
He turns around and then he gets jammed in the side. Dr. Giggles injects like this green liquid.
Greens look like NyQuil.
And then he immediately just starts like bubbling up at the mouth and
Yeah,
like
like
spits out blood. And
His insides just liquefy immediately.
within seconds.
Yeah. And Lee's like, stop messing around. She's like, oh shoot, you're bleeding. Okay.
It's like, ah, shit. And then Dr. Giggles comes in. He's like, I wasn't expecting to have patience, but okay.
I'll make an exception. And poor Lee is like, she doesn't growl, but like, she's just like, shit. Why am I
Yeah.
here?
So the assumption is that he is going to kill her as well.
Yeah, we hear her screams.
Yeah. It's off screen. So
It's off screen, but you know who else hears her screams? Nosy Neighbor and Erica.
right.
Nosy Neighbor, she goes over to the house and she looks through a peephole again and sees an eyeball. It's Dr. Giggles.
A lot of the peephole
all peephole
imagery.
stuff. So she's next on the chopping block. She at home is with Erica and she is supposed to take her red pill and she turns around for a second and it's replaced by a blue pill.
Maybe this is where the Matrix got it from.
I think they're like, oh, Dr. Giggles had the right idea.
See, Neo should have taken the blue pill.
The blue pill is what made her unable to speak. And then Dr. Giggles was able to like stick a nose flashlight up her nostril.
Yeah, he has this bag of tools that he carries around. It's a black leather doctor's case.
Yeah. And they're all like customized.
The tools are not just, it's not just like a thing to check your ear. It's like a thing to check your ear, but it has a sharp metal pointy thing on the end.
Yeah. It's like 5 times as long as that thingy should be. And it goes all the way up her nostril and lobotomizes her.
Even his needle that he used to inject.
Trotter.
Trotter.
It's like a Stretch Armstrong needle.
Yeah. This needle's like 4 feet long.
Yeah. So he has highly customized instruments. I don't know where he got them or where he made them.
He probably made them himself.
Yeah. This was before you could order things online.
Or maybe his dad made them.
Dr. Daddy made them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daddy Giggles.
Daddy Giggles did it. So nosy neighbor dies. Erica is safe though.
And Erica had a great performance. This dog poodle actor, the reaction that this dog had to the death of her owner.
She looked panicked.
Gold.
Yeah.
Loved it.
She was on the bed barking her head off, looking really scared.
And then scampered out of the doggy door. Peace.
She actually got out of the doggy door. And in the previous scene, nosy neighbor was like, oh, Erica, when are you going to learn to use the doggy door? She's like, right now.
When you die, bitch.
Exactly. Peace out. Bye.
Yeah.
So Erica's safe. That's the important part of that scene.
I also wanted to point out it's implied that it's nighttime in this scene because she's like getting ready for bed and she's reading a National Enquirer or something like that about
Elvis.
Yeah, about Elvis or something. And when she opens the door to let Erica in, it's full daylight.
I think she has a floodlight.
It's full daylight.
No, she has a floodlight on her property because she's very paranoid.
Yeah. Okay, so just quickly so we have this nice, beautiful, probably remastered Blu-ray copy of the movie.
Yeah.
I bet you if you're watching this on VHS in the 90s, you're just like, oh, yeah, you can't even see those little mistakes. So they are probably, I do see this in old movies a lot where you can see more of the strings.
Oh, you're like, shoot, they're probably banking on this not being that high quality.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, we got them 30 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, then we end up at Breeders' Hill where the party's going on.
Hopping.
Yeah, we have Max and Jen, and they're in his Corvette convertible.
I just want to point out on Breeders' Hill, this is not like a discreet makeout point. This is like hubbub of horny teens piled in. All the cars are jam-packed right next to each other, and they're all just like making out with their tops down. Not their tops off, but like the hood, the tops of the cars are down.
It's like a makeout point. Yeah, I think a lot of old-timey USA, it's like that was a big part of
but they're
50s
not
culture or
discreet
something like
in
that.
this town. Like they are not trying to hide from anyone.
It didn't seem like anyone was particularly smart in this town.
Well, yeah.
They're just a bunch of kids.
They're all making
fun.
out and drinking except for Jen.
She can't drink. Her doctor told her not to drink, not to have any caffeine.
So to Max, though, she's just being a bummer. He's like, you don't want to make out.
She doesn't want to say like, hey, I have this heart problem and I might die if I drink. That doesn't sound cool.
She really should, though, because right now she just kind of like has downcast eyes and a really flat affect. She really just needs to come out and say, yo, I have heart problems. Instead, she's like, no, I don't want to, Max.
She wants Max to love her for her
petulance.
Yeah, doesn't want to feel sorry for her.
Yeah, well, she needs to not be a baby then. She's just like, oh, I'm so down, sad. And so Max is being a baby too, and he throws his alcohol out the window. And who spots this trouble in paradise? Hottie number 1 and hottie number 2.
Oh.
Yeah, they even say
I was going to say, Dr. Giggles, was he there at the party?
No, well, he didn't get invited. But hottie number 2 is like, oh, look, trouble in paradise.
Yeah, they're scheming.
And Corrine turns around. I'm just like, these friends suck. Like in the beginning, we're supposed to think that all these 8 people are all friends. They're terrible friends.
They're just these sort of exaggerated high school characters.
Yeah, the butthead couple locks 2 friends in this derelict house with no means of escape. And then the 2 hotties are constantly scheming on Jen's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Terrible.
This is something that we see a lot in 80s and 90s depictions of high school.
Toxic friend groups. The party on Makeout Point is broken up by the 2 cops. We have a rookie cop and we have the old seasoned cop.
That was a pretty cool moment too, because the way that they broke up the party was by playing old people music.
Yeah, old timey music.
Yeah.
The old cop's like, kids, if you don't want to hear this, you better skedoodle.
So it's like the cops knew that this party was going to happen.
Yeah.
They probably have to do it every year.
Yeah. And we learned that the rookie cop is a rookie because I think the old cop says something like, oh, you'll learn in this town quick. Like, oh, we have a rookie on our hands. Oh, no, that's not good.
You always got to have a rookie cop.
You have a rookie.
We get some more backstory from the old cop talking about Dr. Rendell and what happened.
Oh, yeah, because they got a call earlier from nosy neighbors, so they have to go check out the Dr. Rendell house.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're investigating. They don't find Trotter or Lee, but we do get the backstory.
Yeah, they don't go into that room, actually. The rookie cop is about to go into the room, and then the other guy's like, we gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We learned that Dr. Giggles' dad was the town doctor, and his wife fell ill with heart failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so this illness drove Daddy Giggles insane. And so he started kidnapping townsfolk. He killed 7 of them trying to perform a heart transplant for his wife. The townsfolk found out and stoned the daddy doctor to death. Oh, and the daddy doctor had a son, and the son was never found, aka Dr. Giggles.
Yeah.
I don't know how this kid went unnoticed all this time.
Doesn't make any sense, but
No.
that's okay in a movie like this.
Yeah, don't need it. It was short and sweet, short little backstory. Got it.
Yeah. So then we're back at the carnival, which is right down the hill from the makeout party point, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
Jen is still a bummer.
but she opens up to Max about the heart problems finally while they're on this
Little
Ferris wheel thing. They seem to have like a moment.
They do. Max like, why didn't you tell me? You're my girl.
Right.
And she's like, well, I just didn't want you to feel sorry for me. He's like, no, we're in it. Just you and me.
And since the party was broken up, now everybody's scattered. That gives Dr. Giggles an opportunity to like
Get some people alone.
Yeah. So his next victims end up being Stu and Diane.
And the butthead couple.
The butthead couple. And Stu brings Diane back to his house. His little brother's playing Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
And he's just glued to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
They go up to the room to get it on. And Stu thinks it would be real hot if his girlfriend dressed up in his mom's lingerie.
Yeah, this is a really odd scene. He's like, guess what I swiped from my mom's suitcase? Her negligee.
She's like, what? You want me to wear that? And then she's like, I guess.
She's
And
like,
she does. She puts it on.
You want me to wear your mom's lingerie? And she puts it on, and it's very sexy. I'm like, ew.
So yeah. Oh, the subtext there. Yeah.
It's like these like lacy thigh highs and a black bustier. I'm like, ew, Stu. And he makes another comment like, I've been waiting for this moment ever since I've been stealing my mom's Victoria's Secrets. So he has a bit of like an Oedipal complex going.
Yeah. Poor Stu. He's just a horny high school kid.
Yeah, and it's summer break. He just wants what he wants. And
But
Diane,
she's responsible. She gives him a condom, and he goes to the bathroom he fiddles
to put it
around
on.
with it.
He's like, all right, I'll go in the bathroom.
Drops it in the toilet, and he's trying to fish it out with his toothbrush.
No, I thought, that's his toothbrush.
I don't know whose toothbrush it is.
I thought it was
but
her toothbrush.
They're at his house, right?
I thought it was her house.
Maybe they're at her house.
You're right. It's his house because he has pictures of other ladies on his mirror.
Yeah.
Very tacky.
It's like this comedic moment.
I feel better knowing that it was his toothbrush because he used the brush end to fish out the condom from the toilet. And I was like, at least use the handle end. It's easier to clean. Oh, man. So many bad decisions.
It's good.
But meanwhile, Diane's in the hallway. She's like, oh, it's freezing in here. You guys are like Eskimos.
Who's in there? Dr. Giggles.
Yeah. And he gets her.
Yeah.
He's like, you're cold. I have the perfect remedy.
She gets a thermometer poker in her mouth.
Insanely customized pointy thermometer.
Yeah. Also
And
like 6 feet long with a sharp metal point.
I just want to point out that all of his victims so far have kind of done what he asks them to do willingly. He's like, open your mouth and say ah. Nosy neighbor.
Why wouldn't they? He's a doctor.
That's true. He has the bag and a trench
he
coat
looks
on.
very official.
He does look official. And he comes at Diane with this pointy ass thermometer. He's like, open your mouth and lift your tongue. And she does. What are you thinking, lady?
I don't think she's thinking.
Yeah, she complies and he shoves this pointy thing right into her face and she dies.
That's right.
Stu gives up on the condom. He's like, well, maybe she won't notice. But I mean, the condom wasn't going to make a difference anyway because when he picks it up, it had holes in it.
Is leaking water from the toilet. Yeah, it was so bad.
So he climbs into bed and we have this one of my favorite shots so far is him going through the sheets of the bed.
Yeah.
His POV. And he uncovers Dr. Giggles' face. He's like lying in bed just waiting for Stu.
Yeah, that was pretty cute. Yeah, that was sweet.
And then he gets his willy whacked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Stu.
Poor Stu.
Oh, well.
They're really blowing through these kills.
I mean, did you not see that coming?
I mean, yes, I did. Just like one after the other. We got Trotter, maybe Lee, Nosy Neighbor, not Erica,
Yeah.
Diane, and
It makes sense. By
Stu.
1992, there's already been a whole decade's worth of slashers plus a few extra years.
they don't have time for character
Yeah.
development.
Everyone knows what's going to happen. They just
Yeah.
want to get through it. So,
Yeah, and it's fun. And now we cut to Jen.
she's at home drinking wine and crying,
Yeah, and
looking at
just like,
pictures of mom.
This girl's in high school. She's drinking wine like she's in Sex in the City and like crying over her old photo albums with mom and dad together.
But
Not
dad
Tamara.
is with Tamara and they're loudly having sex in the bedroom.
Yeah, Tamara's screaming, "You're the king" at the top of her lungs.
Oh, I didn't get that, but
Yeah, I'm just like, Tamara, calm down a little bit.
oh man, it's pretty funny. So then she storms out. She's like, "This sucks."
Yeah, Jen storms out, and that's when Daddy comes to, and he's like, "Oh, that must be Jen. Jen's home. I'm gonna go see how she's doing."
Yeah, well, that's because Dr. Giggles enters the house and he thinks that's Jen. So
Yeah.
Dr. Giggles always in the right place, the right
Yeah,
time.
He knows. And Tamara's like, "You're gonna leave me post-coital? You're gonna leave me for your daughter?"
Yeah.
And the dad's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go see how she's doing." And Tamara's like, "No, you need to take care of me." And the dad says this line. He's like, "Well, she just lost her mother."
And we're thinking like, did this happen last week or
Yeah, like
a
when
month
did this
ago?
happen? And when did you meet Tamara?
Also doesn't matter because we get this brilliant scene of Tamara pulling out a gallon of ice cream.
Yeah, because dad leaves and Tamara does go straight to the freezer because that's what you
And she's
do in
like
the 90s.
sobbing too. Like her
She's
mascara is
sobbing.
running.
Like, Tamara.
The ice cream is completely melty.
So that's
like,
a different
get
issue.
a new freezer.
Need a new freezer. And she has the most generic gallon of ice cream and she plops it into a giant serving bowl.
Finishes the whole thing.
Eats the whole thing, still sobbing.
Yeah. Dr. Giggles finds her and he's like, "You better watch what you eat."
Yeah.
And decides to give her a stomach pump.
Pumps her stomach. And this is the one scene that seemed familiar. I was like, I feel like I've seen this scene.
Well, you've probably seen it from a trailer or
I
something.
was wondering if this was in the trailer. Because like,
Probably.
I actually remember this bowl of ice cream being regurgitated or like pumped out of this lady. And then he ups the velocity or something.
Mhm.
He
It's
pumps her
blood.
stomach to the max. And then we get blood mixed in with the ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was just like, no, I knew Tamara was going to die, but I just wanted more Tamara.
Yeah. And then he finds a picture of Jen and with a book right next to her picture that says
Heart
like
problems.
living with heart problems. And he puts two and two together. He's like, huh, all right. And then he says something just into the air like, "I'm going to make you proud, Daddy." Or
Yeah. Daddy, I'm going to make
I'm
you
going to save
proud.
her.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's exactly what he said,
Well,
but
because he flashes back to his mom having heart problems and how daddy couldn't save her.
yeah.
And so he's like, "I'm going to make you proud." So
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, is he going to try to project his mother's image onto Jen? That is Dr. Giggles' new mission. Because before it seemed like he was just randomly, haphazardly killing the whole town.
Yeah.
And now he seems like he has more of a purpose.
He has a target. Yes.
Yeah.
Jen ends up back at the carnival.
Yeah,
and
this carnival.
Yeah, there's also like a bunch of teens making out in the band room, and it's getting real hot and heavy and suggested.
Yeah, so Jen goes to the carnival to look for Max, but Max is at the band room for some reason with hottie number 1 and hottie number 2.
She's a tag along.
She's a tag along.
Total tag along.
She doesn't have any lines in this scene, I don't think. But hottie number 1, Corinne, is spread eagle, like trying to play the saxophone.
And she's like giving it a full on BJ.
Yeah, she's really seductively giving her all to the saxophone in this band that is again full of horny teenagers. And I'm just like, these teens have no modesty.
No, they don't.
They're all just
Not
making
even.
out with reckless abandon. Not even just making out. They're like on the floor rolling around.
They're going to give Cherry Falls a run for this
I
money.
know. I'm just like, they are making out like there's a killer out to kill virgins. And
Ooh,
so
spoiled Cherry Falls.
no, that's the plot line of Cherry
oops,
Falls.
sorry.
And so anyway, Max and Corinne, they start making out and you're like, Max, Jen just spilled her heart to you and you are so quickly making out with Corinne.
Typical.
Cut to Jen in the carnival looking for Max, and who shows up? Hottie number 2.
Tag along.
She's like, I know where he is.
Yeah.
Follow me to the band room.
And what does she find? Some heavy petting.
Max and Corinne making out on the floor. Yeah. And Jen gets upset and she's like, you know what? You're the one who's sick.
And then runs off to one of those funhouse mazes.
Yeah. The mirror maze at the carnival. Why is that your first place to run?
Because I can hide in here. There's no one
I
in
can
there.
hide in the mirror maze. But guess what? There are 3 people after her.
Yep.
We have Daddy and Dr. Giggles and Max, and Corinne is following Max.
And that's where we stopped. So
Stopped.
yeah, we are in the mirror maze
Very
at
crowded,
the carnival.
very crowded mirror maze. Yeah.
So that was the first half. What did you think?
I am so excited. I am loving this movie so far, with the exception of killing Tamra too soon. I knew she had to die. I just wanted more Tamra.
Yeah, I can see like in the past you've said stuff about slasher movies being comforting to you. And I can see in this movie why a slasher movie would be comforting, because we have totally one-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
The plot is spelled out for us. The main character is just what he is. It's just like, okay, we figured him out immediately.
Yeah. And our main final girl, we're assuming, Jen, is exactly what she is. She's brooding and serious and chaste.
But it's still fun. And there are some moments where you're just like, ugh, this wouldn't fly today.
I know.
Which I expected, it
Yeah,
being from
92.
92.
Yeah.
You know, even so, and I'm thinking about it, it's not as cringe as like an early 2000s slasher.
You know, that's true. Some
Yeah.
early 2000 slashers were pretty
Like the stuff, the way that
unsavory.
the characters would act in that era is,
and even
though both probably are just not.
they both have problematic elements, but the dialogue in early 2000 slashers tended to be more
It's like
unsavory.
mean. It's like harsh.
Yeah, offensive.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, it's just kind of a lot more maybe ignorant.
Yeah, maybe just like Clueless or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are you thinking so far?
It's very entertaining. Dr. Giggles is a villain that I enjoy all of his scenes.
He's very charismatic.
Even though there's not really much to it, he just giggles
He
and
just-
kills
what's
people.
your best
in a really
giggle?
bad way.
It's more reserved because he has his mouth closed. That's pretty good. Like he can't help himself.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's not like something that is a tough movie to figure out.
I don't think so. I'm actually going to be more surprised if my predictions don't happen.
Yeah, same here. So speaking of which, let's get into the
Let's
predictions.
get into the predictions.
So we each have 5 predictions
Mm-hmm.
here. So do you want to start?
So we stopped in the mirror maze. My first prediction is that hottie number 1, Corinne, will die in the mirror maze.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be much more to it than that. She's just going to be the first one that is offed after we restart the movie.
But how? What's the instrument? He's got his bag of tricks.
I know.
with
I was
him.
trying to think about that. And I was like, something that involves mirrors or narcissism or her like, looking at herself too much because she is kind of more of the vain or vapid character.
Oh, okay. You weren't thinking it by medical instrument. So maybe like a stethoscope or a Band-Aid.
Maybe one of those like
gauze wrap.
Oh, I was thinking something to like maybe mar her beauty first.
Scalpel.
Yeah.
A bone saw.
Ooh.
He already used the bone saw though.
Ooh, maybe a scalpel on her face, making some sort of retort about like, just lift this up. Oh, trying to give her a facelift. Facelift.
Facelift. Okay.
He's going to rip off her face.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah. So
he does have the puns before he kills.
Yes. So hottie number 1 is going to die in the mirror maze. Kudos if she gets a quote unquote facelift.
Yeah.
Okay. Prediction number 2, Dr. G will try to save Jen by taking out hottie number 2's heart.
Oh.
And trying to transplant it. So hottie number 2, I think, has to die also. She's just kind of, killer fodder at this point.
We don't even know her name.
We don't know her name. They never gave her a name. But we know that Dr. Giggles wants to save Jen. Or I'm predicting that he wants to save Jen and perform the heart transplant that his dad could not perform on his mom.
Yeah. Is that one of your predictions?
Yeah.
Getting there? Okay.
Yeah. So my prediction is that he's going to try to do a heart transplant for Jen by taking out hottie number 2's heart and attempting to put it in Jen.
Okay.
Prediction 3, Max will die trying to save Jen, thus redeeming his sleaziness. He can't live. They can't be together after this. He essentially, by high school terms, cheated on her. So he's going to have to redeem himself by giving his life for Jen. I don't know how he's going to die. He's just going to die. And prediction number 4, the survivors I'm predicting will be Jen, Dad, because she can't lose her dad also. It's too bleak for this movie. And Dr. Giggles.
Oh, Dr. Giggles will live on for a sequel.
He'll live on. It'll be one of those things where it's like you hear some giggling in the background, but you don't know where he is.
Maybe David Gordon Green will reboot Dr. Giggles.
I hope so. That is the kind of movie he should reboot.
Yes.
Not the classics like Exorcist.
Yes.
Dr. Giggles, I would love to see rebooted by David Gordon Green.
And number 5 is your Whopper?
This is my wild card.
Oh,
my Whopper.
The Whopper. Is it a wild card or a Whopper? Because those are two different things.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'll tell
you what it is. A wild card's like a helicopter comes and drops a bomb on the town.
Oh.
A Whopper is like Dr. Giggles has a twin.
Oh. Well, I'm going to say it, and then you can tell me if it's a wild card or a Whopper.
All right.
My wild card is that Lee is still alive.
Lee
in the house.
I like that.
But she's trapped in the house as a test subject. So he did not kill her. He kept her alive. And we didn't see her die. She just was screaming off screen.
That's true.
So I think Lee might still be alive, but as a test subject. And I won't say if she's going to survive, but she's alive for now.
I liked your predictions very much, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, I think you've really figured this one out. I think we kind of have some similar predictions in that I also might have something about some sort of final surgery. I feel like that seems to be fairly obvious. This is the kind of movie that I don't think is going to throw any crazy twists at us. But anyways, my 5 predictions. Prediction number 1, hottie number 1 will get it in the funhouse with a scalpel by Dr. Giggles, slashed in a stealthy type of way.
I like that you specified by who, just in case it wasn't clear.
I did that because it seemed a lot to me like the game Clue.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, that's why I did that. But anyways, I was just trying to think like, all right, what's the next instrument he's going to use? And I couldn't really think. Now, actually, after we were talking about maybe he could use a stethoscope as like a choking device or something like that. But I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the scalpel again.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be his main weapon.
Yeah.
And he'd have to do something to her in a stealthily like fashion. Unless everybody takes off and she's the only one left there.
Yeah. She's like, oh, hello, Max.
Yeah. Max, where'd you go?
How did I get out?
And then maybe he could do something like What are those little tools where it's like you check your reflexes? It's got like the rubber.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's got like
hammer.
a giant size one of that and like breaks both her legs or something.
The
Because all of his
reflexes
tools
terrible.
are super exaggerated. So
Yeah.
But no, I just went with scalpel.
Yeah.
Scalpel, you know.
So overall, she's going to die. Extra kudos if he uses a scalpel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Number 2, they are going to find Jen's actual doctor dead in his office. So I think at some point they might go back to her actual doctor. I don't know why. Maybe the cops go there.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to track down, or they put together some clue. Who knows? But I was just thinking like, all right, they had that doctor there and he's already killed one doctor. So maybe he's going to kill this other doctor.
Competition.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, get rid of him.
I just threw that out there. Now, my prediction number 3 is that Max gets drugged by Dr. Giggles, and he is the one who has his heart removed to give to Jen. Insert pun, and then, you know, he dies because of the heart transplant.
Yeah, really dramatic quotes. Maybe like as he's dying, he's like, I give you my heart.
Well, I was thinking insert pun Dr. Giggles, so Dr. Giggles would be like, you really gave her your heart. Yeah. Number 4 prediction was Putt's dad survives and repairs his relationship with daughter after they both survive.
He's like, I'm single now.
So we both have that one. So yeah, it's for some reason, like in these kind of movies, the Putt's dad always survives, and they're like, what happened? I went over to this place and then all of a sudden, like everyone's dead and there's cops.
Totally useless.
But I love you, honey.
Yeah.
I love you. We're never going to be apart again.
You need at least one parent.
Yeah. Poor Putt's dad.
I know.
And my whopper, my big prediction. It's like a paragraph long here.
Oh my gosh.
I really fleshed it out. Got this one down. If I whiff on this, I'm going to be very sad. Okay. Dr. Giggles captures Jen, takes her back to the old Rendell house to save her with open heart surgery. He has another fresh heart, aka Max. Although I do like your idea of maybe it was
Hottie number 2.
Hottie number 2 or Lee.
So I was thinking that Hottie number 2 is going to have her heart taken out.
Yeah.
But Lee is also there as a test subject.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I feel like it could go one of these ways. One of these characters is going to be on the chopping block at the end. And then right before he's about to scalpel Jen in the chest, he's going to get blasted by one of those cops. Maybe the old cool guy
The old seasoned cop.
And then the rookie cop's going to be totally shaken and be like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I learned so much from you, old guy.
And then maybe this is all extra at this point. They're going to zip up Dr. Giggles in that black, body bag thing. They get him back to the morgue, and then the morgue guy opens it up, and we hear a little
yeah.
And then credits.
Ooh, or the body bag is still zipped up and you hear the giggle and then credits.
A little scalpel comes out of the body bag and cuts out a little heart, like a little cartoon heart.
They zipped him up with his instruments. That's
Why not?
kind of them.
Yeah,
Very
save
nice.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, those all sound really good.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch the second half of this very problematic yet fun 90s slasher movie.
You know, could be more problematic.
That's true. That's true.
Not as problematic as I thought it was going to be 90s movie. Yeah.
We're going to watch the next half.
And we'll be back with our results.
See ya.
Hi, thanks for tuning into Gutted Horror Podcast. Part 2 of our Dr. Giggles, Guess the Ending episode will be released next week. In Part 2, we will talk about the second half of the movie, go over our prediction results, and give out awards. Thanks for listening. See you then.